I thank you all for joining us. And just a brief introduction. We have Mr. Rajesh Chadda, your batchmate from 1972, and Mr. Anil Alag from 1976. Both of Rajesh ji is in Auckland, New Zealand, while Mr. Anil Alag is in Tokyo, Japan. So first of all,
Got it.
I'll start with wishing ki o ra to Rajesh.
Kia
And
Kia ora.
Ra, right? And konnichiwa to Mr. Anil
Konnichiwa.
Alag.
Konnichiwa.
So I just said hello to them. The whole idea of having this interaction or this session was, uh, so that we can interact with our fellow dipsites who have migrated abroad for a long time, but within their heart they carry India, and they'll say they are Hindustani. So in a typical Indian way, I'll first say namaste to all of you. You
Namaste
all can
ji.
revert visually. Okay. So we'll just start. What the format I'll follow, we'll have quick question answers with both the participants. In the end, it will be an open session where anyone can join. Okay, does that sound good?
Absolutely
Okay. So
fantastic.
I'll start. First question, pardon me, it'll take a little while for me to get adjusted to the first names. Uh, so my first question to you is, when did you move on to Auckland?
1998.
Okay, and how did you move?
This was, I had no intentions actually, of, I mean, deciding this to go at the age of 40 plus is not a very nice feeling. Uh, I had some, concerns for my kids, basically, especially my daughter. She was child epileptic, you see. And the treatment what she was getting here, it was a kind of a social stigma attached kind of a thing, even to the schools where she was going. At one stage, the principal asked me because she had a epileptic attack in the school, and the principal asked me, "Oh, you might have to withdraw your child," and I was taken aback. I said, "Why withdraw my child?" She said, "Oh, she's not a good." It's not good for the other kids to see that. I said, you should encourage other kids rather than to support her, rather than asking me to withdraw my kid. So yeah, so my kids were the main purpose of making this move. My brother was already in Auckland. He had, I think, migrated in '96, and
Okay,
I used to get some medications which was not available in India. I used to ask him to courier them for me, for my daughter. So eventually, I had my visa come through in '97, but then again, I had problems. I had a mother who was a widow, and I couldn't leave her behind. My younger brother was there, but he was all too keen to go away at the earliest instant to migrate over. So it took me an year to convince my mother, look, I need to go because for my kids and everything. And then she assured me that if my younger brother also moves, then she'll move to the country, and which she did eventually. So yeah, my basic concern was for my kids. Education part of it, though my son was doing very well in his school, he was in class 11th when I moved, basically, which was a very uh, major decision for him at that time. But yes, in doing so, I'm very, very glad that I did make the movement. Yeah.
ah, okay, that's great. So I'll ask the same question to Anil ji. What made you migrate to Tokyo or Japan precisely?
Um, hmm, I still don't know why I migrated to Japan. I wish I was in India with all my friends. It would have been great. Rajiv Soni. I think that's Ranbir Bose on the other side, looking smart and snug as ever. I've seen this person on the right, also very familiar face, but there are times I wish I didn't migrate. India is a great place, so you guys are in the right place because heart's out there. But like 70s was a time when everybody felt that honey and everything was outside India. I migrated in 1979 after I finished my SRCC, and suddenly we had an office in Kabul in Afghanistan, And I was supposed to go to Kabul, import dry fruits into Delhi, and live your state ka life and just take it easy, licensing, and you make your money and don't do anything. But then the Russians invaded, and my dad said, Russian USSR will become like Czechoslovakia, Eastern Europe. So get out of there, and we just got out of Kabul. So first port I went was Germany, which was where we didn't need any visa those days for India. So I took my samples of clothes and textiles. I was not successful. I was not a successful story in the
I'm a
beginning. So made a lot of losses. A lot of people fooled you, and a lot of people scams, and like lost a lot of money. I will not be hiding all that and say mine was great. It was not great. You had to work your ass out the first 5, 10 years. I really worked my ass out because your pride comes in the way. Dad came back. He said, "Bete, तैसे नहीं होगा, आ जाओ वापस." That thing really hurts you. I said, I will do something. I'll show you. So, but it's your gut feeling, and the basic thing is if you're good at heart, God is with you, and you will be successful no matter what. If you treat everybody on par with yourself, which is what I've been doing and which I've been taught in DPS, others before self is the motto I've been
correct.
following. So you kind of God stays with you, and that's it. I have done nothing. I feel the power of God. Now that you're 60, you feel it all the more, not like before. So, very sentimental journey, and I feel very connected coming back. So, that's it. After that, no looking back. First 5 years was bad. From Germany, went to New York. New York met some Jewish people, came to Tokyo. They said that's where the boom is. Go to Tokyo, you'll make a lot of money. And money, that's it. When you're young, you're only chasing money. So I was chasing money for 10 years. Then suddenly, when you get money, then everything changes. Your perspective changes. Then all your relations come back into play. Friends come back into play. So right now, my most precious commodity is time because we all have very limited. So my thing is how to give the maximum back to the society, back to people I know. And I only ask God to give me the strength to help people more. Because people, after taking help, they normally stab you behind the back and you lose that strength to help them again. So that's the only thing I ask God. Give me the strength to keep on helping people because helping people is also a kind of a gift from God. He's testing you in a way. So this is my basic motto in life.
Mhm.
काम तो होता रहता है, but friends are friends, and you guys are very precious asset to me now because we share
Thank
old
you
times.
so
We know
much.
Mrs. Mathur, all those old teachers. We're connected. So this is something I cannot
Yeah,
share with anybody else. So thank you everybody for making the time.
great. Great. Okay, so my next question again, like once you guys migrated or moved on to the countries where you are, so tell us something about your initial journey, Rajesh.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, initially, how was it? How did you spend time? What did you do? How was it? The initial
see,
transition in the initial years?
at the age of, I migrated at the age of 42, and I was doing a printing business in Delhi, which I had to wind up totally and everything to move on. I sold my house, my print business, I just and blindfoldly, I think that was the biggest mistake I did in my life, that I bought a gas station here without even having a look. My brother was here though, but he chose to buy a gas station. He said it's a good business. Job scenarios are very bad for people coming there, and you don't have any technical or anything qualifications to get a job or something. So he was in liquor business, and he suggested that a petrol station. Now, what I thought, oh, petrol station. Now I'll be a king. Because I had the concept of a petrol station back home in India. What we कि चार आदमी काम करेंगे and all those kind of things, and I'll be. But it was a totally different scenario. You see, it was a smaller site and not much of good. But anyway, it was a very struggling, very trying period for me for about 9 years. Me and my wife slogged at the gas station, and eventually the gas station. It was a Caltex Chevron run gas station. So the company decided the tanks were getting very old. It was tanks were about 40 years, and suddenly the company decided, oh, now it's the responsibility of the franchises to get it sorted themselves. Chevron is moving away from maintenance and everything. So if you want to continue with the thing, I was in dire losses as it is, and it was an amount of about approximately 200,000 to get it all sorted. So I told my wife, look, I'm done with this now. I'm going to give this away. So after 9 years, we just made zero with a lot of mortgage and everything. I walked out zero. And then I was 50 plus that time, when I decided to do this. So that's the time I needed a job to survive, basically, literally to survive. I had a heavy mortgage of
And your
my
family
home.
was able to take this all with you?
Absolutely. I had to take it very positively, you see, so that my kids don't suffer on that. But I guess son was studying in his engineering, and daughter was still in school. So, yeah.
And
So
what
my
about the cultural transition from India to Auckland?
it was, see, I was servicing, at my gas station. So people were coming to me, and not I was not going out to me. So I had a pretty good experience in that. They were Kiwis are generally a very friendly race. They are very, they like to talk. They like to know you. They're not, on face value, yes, but you do have all those few incidents where you come to hear you're a curry muncher or something like this. So odd things
Which
always
cricket
happen.
team did you support?
Sorry, I still support Indian team. That is when the match is India and New Zealand. But otherwise, if Kiwis are playing with anything, my wife is a big Kiwi supporter, Kiwi team supporter. Yeah, so yeah. So the life I again started, then started applying for jobs now, after 9 years. At the age of 52, I'm thankful to New Zealand to accept me and take me in a job force. So my first corporate job I got with Westpac. It's a Westpac Banking Corporation. I literally joined them as a contact center agent. I said, I'll take whatever comes. I need a job to survive. So my wife took a job, I took a job. So we started the house to run again. And now, as things happen, I've been with Westpac now with 13 years.
Spirit continued.
Oh, absolutely,
Wonderful.
absolutely. I mean, so 13 years now I'm with Westpac, and I'm still going strong with them. I'm working full time still with them. So which is a nice relationship I had with them. Yeah. So I mean, it was not easy. I mean, people think when you're overseas and everything, यार इसको मजे हैं कर रहे हैं ये है. मजे मेरे को इंडिया में थे. I had my own house. When you have your own house and established business with maids and servants and everything, वो सब मजे ही होते हैं वहाँ पे. You don't have to worry about it. But it all changed.
Absolutely.
But I am thoroughly happy. What I came for, eventually I have succeeded. My son is doing very well in life. My daughter is doing very well. So that was my main concern, was my kids. So my aim finished there. So yes, like Anil says, I'm all there to help out people who need me. So I in fact, helped a few people to get immigration and statuses and everything. Your mindset changes. You feel, you struggled a lot, and you can relate to others struggling. And then you all go out and said, what way I can help somebody. So there I see students and everything. I meet them, I talk to them, I take their CVs, because I'm in HR right now. So I try and see if I can get on board any of them, because they have to have a certain immigration status to be able to get a full-time job or something. So whatever best, I try to help.
You're fully now settled in the social fabric of life there?
I still lead an Indian life only, buddy.
No, but I mean, culturally and all, you're well integrated into the system there, I would say. Since you are helping people within whatever ways.
I mean, yes, here you learn, because we do volunteer days. We go out into the community to give out what you have earned from here. You try to give it back to the community. We do a volunteers day, go to several organizations and, help out with whatever help they need, be it assisting the aged women or for aged care people, or for even year before last, we went to the zoo and we cleaned up the zoo there, for people to come and have.
Ah,
So we do all these kind of social activities, and this is what we learn here, to be humane, to
absolutely.
be, care for each other and be kind to each other.
Oh, so I'll move on to Anilji. Anilji, so tell us something about your initial time in Tokyo.
Um, See, I'm in diamond trading, and I've
Okay.
been doing this now for 40 years. I started in 1979, 80, right from the beginning. But in the beginning, I used to import from New York, and the Jewish people the Jewish people whom we were supposed to know for 40 years, their family, friends, and all. So those people, they jacked up the prices three times and expected me to sell in Japan. So three times your prices are jacked up and you're going to all the clients over here trying to sell. Instead of my selling, they're asking me to buy from them at cheaper prices that I'm offering them. So I told my dad, Dad,
Mhm.
this is not happening. It's too expensive. But he says, keep on trying. So ultimately, after 6 months, I said, Dad, I can't do it. Let's return it back. So we returned the goods back. He didn't give us the money. He said it was not on memo. It was on outright sale basis. So then we had to take it back. We took something back. And, the first 3 years, actually, it was a good thing because I really struggled. When you struggle, you learn a lot more and you learn a lot more faster. And I feel failure
Mhm.
is a better teacher than success. And it's better to fail in your early years than to face success. So that way, I've been very fortunate. The first 5 years, I went through hell. And with nobody to teach
Mhm.
me, being on your own in a trade which is not for Punjabi. Basically, my mother's Japanese and my father's Punjabi. So that cultural aspect is not very difficult for me to integrate into Japanese society. Friends, old friends, new friends. So I've been very fortunate. So first 5 years was bad. After that, you kind of get into the rhythm, and after that, it has been very plain saving. Though we had losses every now and then, because we have to give 90 days credit every time. So there have been scams, and I've been through all the scams in the world. I love scams because scamsters teach you a new way. They tell you that, see, business is not what it is if it's too good to be true. That's one thing you have to keep in your mind. Anything that's too good to be true cannot happen. It's not reality. So every time I've gone through this Nigerian scam, I've been to the London scam, people calling the internet scam, the email scam. I've done it all. And I want to do it because I want to learn the mind and the mindset of a scamster, what he's thinking. In our trade, we get a lot of scamsters. That's one thing you have to be very careful of because it's a lot of money attractive, so people, all these कहते हैं ना शहद होता है तो मधुमक्खियां भी आती हैं तो we have a lot of flies in our trades. But all in
Okay,
all,
one.
now we are very well settled. We I'm known as Cool Cat in New York, and a lot of people know me by my company's name. We are very well settled. Thank God for that. I have three daughters. First one's in New York. Second one's in New York. First one's in Los Angeles, and third one's in Boston. The one in New York is she's become a psychiatrist. She's doing very well. Touch wood. The first one is
That's
working
good.
for Netflix. I don't know if anybody's seen Netflix. If anybody is Netflix, this thing, you see that N mark with the
Yeah, yeah, we
when you
have
see,
it's the internet. They
yeah,
generate a lot of content
that
and
that
good
N mark
internet content. Yeah.
that N mark was designed by my daughter. So out of
Ah,
50,000, this thing.
wonderful.
So she's the one who designed that. And before that, she was
Oh,
making
then,
perfumes for Madonna and for Jennifer Lopez and all these people. So on the other side, flip side, we have sold diamonds to most of the celebrities in the world. We have the royal family of Thailand as one of our clients. We have royal families of we've sold to Sheikh Maktoum of Dubai. We've sold to Jennifer Lopez, Shaq O'Neal, the basketball player, and we have a connection in New Zealand. One of my brother-in-law lives in New Zealand. But my daughter's married to a movie producer whose sister lives in New Zealand, and we have a relation in Wellington. I think they're in Wellington, not in Auckland. So I've been in this business since I was 19. Fortunate enough not to be in this business after 40. After 40, I know it's going to be very difficult to start business in a new place because I was planning to go to San Diego when I was 40. And you when you to start something from 40, I hats off to you. I don't know how you did it. I get cold feet. I just went to San Diego, looked at the house, and then I came back. I said, I can't do this. Yeah, because America is a huge market. My daughter said this, and I still remember. She says, it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than to be a small fish in a big sea. America is a big sea. Japan is a small pond. At least out here, everybody knows me. I walk the street, everybody wishes me, and there's respect, grudging respect, because out of the blue, somebody who's not a Japanese came to Japan and he's succeeded in a way out here. So there are certain things that I've made it a principle. I can criticize India, but you cannot. If you're a Japanese, you cannot criticize. I can, because India is my country, so I can criticize if I want to, but I don't let a Japanese criticize it. So I'll give you an example. What happened to me once? I was walking down the street, and one of the Japanese guys said, you don't pay taxes out here. You take all the taxes and you send it back to India, and you go and make your havelis and mahals and all, and you don't pay taxes out here, and that's what you do. So I told him, okay, now you have said that to me. Can I say something to you also? Yeah, I said, I came to Japan. I left my country. I left my friends. I left my culture. I left my food. I left everything, my home, my family, my relation. I left everything. I came to this country. I learned your language. I learned to service your clients, which you were not able to service. I learned to service them. I took your clients because you were not astute enough to be with them. You didn't listen to your clients. I gave them prices that you could not afford to give. You know, I did everything. I sacrificed my life. I sacrificed my time. If you were to go to India, you take your pearls from Japan and you go to Delhi or you go to Bombay and you eat Delhi, इंडिया में खाना खा के थोड़ा पेट को खराब करोगे, डायरिया होगा, तुम्हारी shit निकलेगी जो पर, you know, all that, you'll be down with sick, you'll have dengue, you'll have this, you'll have smallpox. And if you succeed, and if you make money, I'll take my pagdi off and say, salute boss, तूने कर दिया है, झंडा गाड़ दिया. But you, when you said that to me, तू अपने को नहीं, तूने पूरे country को तबाह कर दिया. You're a Japanese, तेरे को शर्म नहीं आई बोलते हुए? He cried out there. So I make sure that the name of India is protected. And I'm very fortunate that I went to Japan. I went to Germany first, then to England, then I went to America, and then I came to Japan. In 1979, 1980, you only got $3 or $8 to get out of the country. जाके ऐश करके आओ. It was £3, $8. I still remember. $8 में क्या होगा बाहर जाके कुछ नहीं होता यार. So everywhere I went, Germany, America, London, how much money do you have? Show me the money you have. That was the first question they asked you. How will you support your पैसे दिखाओ कितने तुम्हारे पास? So you show $8. What are you going to do with this? I said, I got my cousin out here. Okay, call him also. So it's like embarrassing because they don't feel that you can afford it. But in Japan, they never ask a question. They said, welcome to Japan. Because Japan and India have this Buddhist connection, the religious connection. They remember that in 1952, Japan gave an elephant called Indra to Japan, to the Japanese zoo. They remember that because of India, Japan was able to join United Nations after the Second World War when nobody supported Japan. So India has been in the minds of Japanese right from the beginning, through good and bad. So even when the chips were down and we were not really welcomed in all the advanced countries, Japan invited, they welcomed you with open arms. So that's a big difference between Japan and the rest of the developed countries, because 1980 Japan was a developed country that time also. So all in all, I feel very, very happy. I feel very lucky to be having Japan as my home, which right now, with this pandemic and all this happening right now, the amount of help that the Japanese government is giving is unbelievable. I haven't seen this anywhere. If you want, I'll give you the examples of what all they're offering us. $20,000 to anybody and everybody who has a company. It doesn't matter whether you're running a loss or not. $20,000 into your bank account, no questions asked. Then after that, $10,000 to all the people in your family. 80% of the salary will be paid by the government. You know, and after that, $300,000 from the Tokyo prefecture if you want it. $1 million from the bank if you want it. No collateral, no interest, no nothing. I mean, this is called helping you people. This is India. I haven't heard anybody getting any loan from the 2 lakh crores that Narendra Modi has promised us. कोई पैसे आए नहीं किसी के पास नहीं आए. Everybody is shitting out there. What is happening to my country? What is happening? Our real estate is going. our GDP is going down, our banking is going down, everything is just going to pieces. This is not the way a country has to be. We should be progressing right now. We should be right now on top. China कितनी आगे निकल गई है? China कितना नीचे था हमारे से? I've been going to China from 1980. I've been going to China, and the way it's progressing all the time is crazy. So I hope that our country does better. You know, I really feel for the country. I really hope it does better.
I totally
I'm
agree.
sorry, I
I'm
just
sure a
went
lot
on
of
going
us
on
would
here, but
echo the same sentiments.
so if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I think we
we
should give
have,
other
so
people
we'll
some
take a
chance.
little more while. Yeah, I'll give everybody. So my next question is like, it's to both of us. The first ask Rajesh, and then I'll come back to you. Rajesh, since you are a first generation migrant, so is traveling back to India a habit? Like, how frequently do you travel back to India?
Okay, going to that, I was, the first 9 years when I was running my business, it was in 9 years, I just managed to come to India once only, and that also when my son volunteered, he was working and part time, and he said, Dad, you go. He at university was off. I'll look after the gas station and take a break, and you go to India. So that's the first time I took a break. And yes, after that 9 years, between 30 years, I have traveled quite a bit to be. Both my kids got married to Indian spouses. My son married a girl from Himachal. She's from near Simla. What's the name? जहाँ बियर बनती है क्या है जगह भी है उसकी? Solan.
So,
Tolan.
Solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my daughter-in-law is from Solan, and my son-in-law was from Delhi. I mean, originally from Australia, but Delhi. But sadly, they divorced. Marriage didn't work out. But both my, samdhis and all that, they're all Indian. So आना जाना
So do you
बनता है. And
still
then I have my
Ana Jana?
yeah, my brother-in-law is there. We have three brothers, so all three of us migrated here. After me, my younger brother also migrated, and my mother also came, which was thankfully she passed away here only about 4 or 5 years ago. And then my elder brother, he had moved back to Toronto from here, So, but me and my younger brother are still in Auckland. So yeah, life has been good. God has been kind, and yeah, I have a grandson now. He's 2 year old. I enjoy him. My son is working, doing very well. He is head of an IT for a telecommunications company. My daughter is doing HR. So pretty good. I'm happy that I made the decision and I came here. Even coming at 40 plus was a very, very scary thing to do, but I had to do. I had to do it for my kids. I had no choice. So yeah, that's what
So
kids are
when
for.
last time you came to India?
Uh, I came around 3 years, not very long ago, maybe 3 years ago. And I
3 years
was
ago.
supposed to be this year again, but because of COVID and everything went back. So hopefully everything dies down. I should be there next year again.
Oh, wonderful. And
Yeah.
Anilji, how about you? Do you come to India often, or when was the last time you came?
On a good year, I'm there about 6 to 7 times in a year.
There you
Uh,
go.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm there like 5 times. Last, I've been maximum 10 times in a year. कोई भी शादी होती है, shadi.com. I go to all the marriages. All besides getting married, एक card है, I just hop onto the plane and I go to all the marriages possible. Because I feel these are moments in time that cannot be replaced after it's gone. So any marriage that happens, my funda is, see, my kids have to get married. अगर मैं नहीं जाऊंगा तो वो थोड़ी आएंगे, उनको भी तो आना पड़ेगा, बराती तो चाहिए होंगे ना शादी में. So any शादी, I
भंगड़ा तो
just
डालेंगे सर हम सब आके.
सर भंगड़ा तो करेंगे
We'll,
यार
we'll
भाई.
ensure Mr.
And
Ronnie Bose and Raji Soni are dancing up front.
and Rajiv was there for my daughter's wedding actually, and
So did he dance?
Rajiv was, I think he was the superstar more or less. But I didn't know
So
Rajiv could sing also. I want to get my guitar and we'll have a jam session next time. Yeah, come on, we'll do all the Neil Diamond and all. I think Ranbir Bose is also looking. Ranbir Bose is another great singer. Chupa Rustum hai ye. School mein bhi gata tha.
oh, wonderful.
So I've been coming on and off. Shadi.com, any
Quite
Shadi I've
feel
come. And also, unfortunately, nowadays, some of my friends' parents, mothers whom I've grown up with, parents, so when they pass away for the funeral, I make it a point to come and give my support as much as possible. So I need a reason, any reason, small reason to come to India. I just take a hop on a flight. I'm there for 2 days, 3 days, doesn't matter. I'll just go and come back. So it's like that. And thing is, I have now the luxury of time, so I feel very blessed like that. So koi bhi hota hai, I just go and come back.
So when you
Good on you.
And
when you come to India, where do you normally stay? Do you stay with
I
friends?
just
The
no
planned
no no
visits
my
per se, to friends,
uh,
families.
we we have a house in Panchsheel, S7 Panchsheel Park. We still have that house. My
Okay.
brother's there. So I have one floor over there. Also, my wife's mother is in South X. She's 93. So
Okay.
93 is a very dicey age, and I encourage her to go to see her mother as much as possible. Jitna time hua, you never know because next kal ho na ho kind of thing. And 93, just go and meet her because you should do that when their parents are alive. And that's she's the only parent left among my mother and father, both not there. Her father's not there. So whatever parents' time they have left, try to make as much time as you can, as long as they are alive. Not after they're dead. Oh, ye karna tha, wo karna tha. That's too late. It's gone and gone. Wo jo hai doesn't happen. So whenever we have time, unfortunately, because of the COVID, this is the first time that we have not been to India for the first 6 months. Last time was in November. और वो भी शादी उदयपुर में शादी थी or something जोधपुर शादी of one of my school friends or some school friend or college friend. I went off over there, came back 3 days there and back to Tokyo. So any shadi, I just try to come back to India. I love India. I love Delhi. Short visit. I mean, Delhi is a great place to be. Long visit. I don't know. People get fed up of you after some time. तो 10-15 दिन रह लो तो ठीक है. Everybody is happy with you. सारे मिलने आ जाते हैं.
So
ऐसा
how's
होता
the
है not.
shadi ka khana? What
अरे
about shadi
amazing,
ka khana?
amazing. Indian food
Okay.
is amazing. Delhi food,
Uh,
you don't find food like this anywhere. Though Japan is the gourmet capital of the world, but I still swear by Delhi food. Delhi food is amazing. I've done everything in Delhi. वहाँ पर जामा मस्जिद का पूरा वो किया हुआ है, kebabs किया हुआ है. I mean, you name it, I've done everything. I'm a foodie. So everywhere I've
Okay.
done.
And
Any new restaurant, chalo
okay,
ji.
that's wonderful.
Not
So
only
I
that,
come to my next question. Sorry.
Rajiv Soni, I have been to Tip Tabs recently. Who goes to Tip Tabs nowadays? Tip Tabs ही हो गया. आगे चलो चलते हैं. Let's go and do it. So old
one
times sake, I also went to the SRCC canteen to have the old hamburger and chole bhature. Yeah. So
was
old
gone to
times,
the canteen.
A lot of weight.
I
Yeah,
lost a lot of
sorry.
weight. I lost a lot of weight. I was 140 kilos. So I lost
Wow.
68 kilos in these 2-3 years.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So I hope that you continue with this good health.
Yeah. Only
My
thing is,
next question,
yep.
my next question is, when was the last time you could go to school or you actually went to DPS,
Uh,
the
I,
school that
I,
you all graduated from,
yeah,
passed
the
out from?
Mathura Road DPS. Actually, I couldn't go inside, so I went to Oberoi Hotel, and there's a rooftop bar. तो वहां पर जाके
Right.
सिगार पी के बोला ये देख रहे हो ना आगे ये है हमारा स्कूल दिस इज द स्कूल दैट हैज क्रिएटेड द मोस्ट ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स इन इंडिया ये है हमारा स्कूल इसको जरा देखो सल्यूट करो इसको so we salute out there have a beer have a cigar and then that's it I've done that 2 or 3 times
Oh, that's
School, for a while. I did pass through a couple of times, yes, but nah, I haven't been inside the building. No.
mhm. So last visit was which year?
Last visit was, in fact, I mean 3 years ago, and I did pass through from Mathura Road and all that, but not inside
Mhm.
the school. I was in the car with my nephews and friends, and I was showing them around. Look, this is where I came for a good 10 years. Yeah.
Okay,
But
wonderful.
I haven't been inside. In fact, let's be honest, I was a bit disappointed with the DPS for in between as well. Uh, I didn't put my son there. I didn't want him to go to DPS.
Okay.
There was
But
a certain
now,
time
I mean,
it had a lean period. The DPS was not getting a good reputation. But yeah, uh, I put him in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I wanted him to be uh, learn the basics. So I didn't want him to go to the school of a rich and famous kind of a thing. I
but
don't know.
that
It
nostalgic
was my
memories still
mindset.
remain with us.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, that's wonderful. Anilji, which year you were saying something? We lost you in between. So when was the last time you saw the DPS from the Oberois?
Every time I go to India.
Okay. So it was November last year, 2019.
November we went, it was chilly, it was cold. We went to the rooftop at night, had our beer. In fact, not only that, I got 10 other people who are my friends. I said, come, I'll show you my school. So
Okay,
it's a thing of pride. It feels good. This is where we were. This is our we used to go up and down these staircases. There was a water cooler out here. Kabhi thanda hota tha, kabhi garam hota tha.
Mm.
All these small things. And we used to drink from tap water, and we used to be fine. They were healthy as hell, man, full of life. So, and
Anil, on that, we still drink tap water here in Auckland. We just have the tap water. So,
you're lucky. Auckland has one of the best waters in the world.
yeah.
In fact, you could bottle your tap water and sell it out here.
okay.
No filters, nothing. Straight from the tap.
Yeah, you're very lucky. One of the few countries.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is like when you come to India, do your friends, batchmates, schoolmates organize a get together so you all can meet, you can meet all the batch, all the group or friends and all?
Is
Does
that
that happen?
Dinesh, Dinesh, when did we last had the 40th get together? You remember? After that, I met Naval, one of my mates. I tried to organize one thing, but it didn't work out. So yeah, it's been about 5, 6 years when I've met all of them. Yeah, but we did have a
uh,
big batch on the 40th, and I think it was 2000 40 years of 72 batch. So yeah, that was the. I think I met everybody there.
Okay,
uh,
wonderful. For
I, I
energy.
I started I started going back in 2014, and that's 2013. I started getting in touch with all the dip sites. Reason was Harsh Mahajan. I don't know if you know him. He was a head boy in '76. Harsh Mahajan came to Japan, and I showed him around. I took 10 days off. I said, Harsh, I'll come with you. I'll old times go. Yeah, nobody comes to Tokyo. They think it's an expensive country, so nobody comes. Right, open offer. Anybody wants to come to Tokyo, I'll take you around. I'll take days off with you. I'll stay with you 24/7 till you get bored of me. But I'll be with you, and I'll show you all around Japan, all the all the all the good stuff and all the stuff that you would like to do as boys also. I mean, whatever your fancy is. So
Okay, perfect.
Harsh came, and I like when you meet somebody after a long time, you suddenly realize, man, school friends are different. They're friends without a reason. They're just friends for being friends. So after that happened, I went to India, and I don't wait for anybody to call because everybody's busy. I understand that. So I created an event. First one was done by my wife. So we did Gymkhana Club, and I called all the 76 dip sites. Then I called all the 70th modernites. Then I called all the 70th Zavarians, all the schools, 70th alumnus. So we were about 20, 30, 40 people. Then I started calling out to 75 and 77 also. I said, तुम भी आ जाओ या सारे आ जाओ. And there was a woman I remember, Suchi. Suchi was there. She was one of the few women everybody was after in school. So she says, "कितने पैसे में?" मैंने बोला, "Forget money, just come, everybody." So when I said forget money, the amount of people who came suddenly mushroomed. I was so happy, but I felt sad that some people were not coming because of money constraint or financials keeping them back. And I met a couple of people I really felt sad for because it's not like everybody's doing well. There's some people who are not doing well financially, and they are not very proud about it. So they don't want to show all that to former DPS crowd and all. So those guys, I really felt like reaching out to those people, and I told, forget about money, just come. So ultimately, we had, I think, about 120 people went to Gymkhana. So we had taken one of the cottages. पहले बोला छोटा सा अंदर का मैंने बोला आ जाएंगे लोग अगर कोई इवेंट करोगे it's like Rome is there people will come to Rome. It's like just make the place the venue and people will come. So every time I try to do something so people do come. And after I took that first initiative, I met so many people from 76 Dipside batch. It was very nice to connect with them. And they were the first people I called for my daughter's wedding. बरातियों में सबसे पहले डिपसाइड्स को बुलाया, फिर बाकियों को, रिलेशन को सबसे लास्ट में बुलाया. All my relatives, क्योंकि रिलेशन तो यार वो ये खराब है, इनका नाम ऊपर है, इनका नाम नीचे है, बोलते रहते हैं, बोलने की उनकी आदत है. सो लास्ट में अनिल यार ये नाम आपने ठीक नहीं लिखा ऊपर नीचे, कैटेगरी ठीक नहीं है. और ऐसे नहीं, अब हो गया, एक ही दिन है, 2 दिन है, अरे 2 दिन पहले आपने दिया, अभी अभी कार्ड छप के आए, सॉरी आप सबसे पहले हो. बट आई गेव देम द लास्ट, Dipsides first. So ultimately it was a grand success. And friends do, I think friends are more precious than relations because they have nothing bad in their mind. So all these Dipsides that I've gotten through all these 4-5 years, everybody, now I go, before I do anything, they do something for me. And we always meet up, our like 5 dinners, like lunch, dinner, breakfast, high tea, low tea, sab kuch fill ho jata hai. And I'm always meeting somebody or other. I feel so happy. I think friends like these friends in Delhi, you don't find anywhere in the world. Globally, I've been everywhere. You don't find friends like this. It's as simple as that.
Oh,
These people don't exist.
that's a really great compliment to the batchmates. Okay, I'll
No, no,
come to my
no.
next question.
Yeah.
Sorry, please carry on.
No, 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 please. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. So I'll come to my next questions. Can you briefly tell us what are the three main differences of living and working in Japan as compared to India?
Uh, yeah. I don't know about three, but I'll try to just tell you what I feel the differences are. One, uh, in Japan, if somebody says that he will do this work and he'll say the payment comes in this time, that word of mouth is very strong over here. That's one.
Okay.
Number two, the
Word of
difference in
mouth and commitment per se.
commitment is very strong. And
Okay, great.
number two is, I don't know if it's now, it must be changing in India, but when I was there, it was not there. Appointment time, if it's 9 o'clock, everybody's there by 5 to 9 or 10 to 9, and they'll wait for 9 o'clock to happen. That second comes to 9:12, they will knock at the door. Exactly on the second, not minute, on the second. So timing is very important. Commitment is very important. And third is, doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a sweeper or you are somebody on the road waving your baton, or whether you're doing any kind of job, the pride for the job is there. They're very proud about it and they will do it to the best of their satisfaction. You won't find something ki chhod diya thoda sa. So that pride is what has got this nation up, I feel. So doesn't matter. And there is equal respect for all work. No work is too small and no work is too big. कि सेठ जी ने चाय उठा के ले लिया, वो चाय कैसे ले लिया, that doesn't happen. So respect is there for any kind of work. So I think these are the basic differences. Otherwise, there are lots more like civic. They're more clean out here. People don't throw garbage on the street. Streets are clean. They're very well mannered. There's a lot of discipline in the country. One of the few countries where there was no rioting ever after the Fukushima earthquake. People were so disciplined. And there's a good example. We went to give food to people after the tsunami earthquake happened. So they all stand in a line. There's no rushing. There's no nothing. They take one, and then they'll wait for everybody to finish, and they'll come to you. Can we have one more if you have left, and there's nobody left behind who hasn't gotten a lunch box. So these things, I think they're very important for the basic structure. This is something that's been taught in the Japanese school. So all my kids, they started like Rakesh said, in Japanese basic schools where they were taught respect for elders. They were taught respect for work, because all the kids in school, they're supposed to clean and sweep the school also. So respect for work, respect for elders, and respect for work. These three things, I think, are the very basic foundation of a good nation. This is taught in school, and it changes your whole perspective after that. So the whole Japanese country, this country, the people, I don't think they exist. They don't belong to this planet Earth. They're a totally different breed. When there's a recession in the world, this country picks up. When there's a boom everywhere else, this country is down. So it's just goes against the tide. The
Okay.
biggest advantage we have out here is it follows the global economy in a way. So when there's
Mhm.
recession outside, there's boom out here, but the recession is going to happen after 3 or 6 months. So you're more prepared for the recession because you see it coming outside, but not in Japan. So the other way around, when there's a recession in Japan and you should globally, there's a boom outside. It happens in Japan after 3 to 6 months. So it gives you a buffer, and you can kind of like prepare for 6 months or 3 months or 6 months in advance to the kind of business that's going to come.
Okay,
That's that.
wonderful.
That's
That's great. Okay, Rajesh, I transfer the same question to you. What,
I
according,
second
briefly
what
tell us the main
Anil,
differences.
no, I second to what Anil just said. It's a dignity of labor is one thing. Here, where whether you're a sweeper or you're a cleaner or you are a top merchandiser or a banker or whatever, they all are on the same level. Same. That's why I keep on telling me, when you're addressing me, oh, sir, Rajesh, sir, sir, sir. I said, stop. We are so used to be or to be down to earth and everything. Uh, that's for one thing. Secondly, time zone. Yeah. If you have an appointment at 9, like you said, 9, nothing else. If you're late by even 1 minute, you're looked upon, you've done a crime. So yeah, you better be prepared and be on time on your meetings, on your schedules, on everything. And if you honor something, you want to say, okay, I'm going to deliver this on this day. It is your moral responsibility. If you're being delayed or anything, you give let them know a courtesy call. Look, I'm being delayed by a day or a 1 day or a half a day or whatever. It's not that on the day you say Ajay hua nahi, kya nahi kar sake, ye ho nahi ho. So these are quite a few different things. And yes, you are made to. What I learned most here was that care for you, care as a human, care as they not only care for elderly or children or but the care for animals, what they look after, the pets or anything, you see. I mean, मैं तो कहता हूँ हम अगले मैं कईयों को देखता हूँ कि अगले जन्म में हम कुत्ता भी यहाँ इस कंट्री में बने तो भी बहुत
same. यहाँ पर भी
बड़ी
same ही
बड़ी
है.
होगी, so I mean, these are the differences. And I had a very what I was for what I came to this country was basically my daughter, who was not treated as a normal child there, and I was so glad, that she just went through without a hitch here, without any problems, without any normal school, everything, and within a few years she was off her medication and treated. I mean, respect for life, respect for human values, and these things are inculcated with children from the very beginning. It's not only about respecting your elders, it's respecting the nature around you, the work you do, anything or everything on the earth. It doesn't come for free. You just have to learn to respect and culture these things into your kids and everything. Yeah, it's been a great transition for me here.
So if I were to ask you, suppose in India these changes were done, do you think a lot of Indians who have migrated abroad, do you think they would be inclined to come back if these changes were in some way affected?
I think there should be. See, my migration to New Zealand was not for money at all. It was basically
Absolutely.
primarily for the well-being of my kids, right? But
Hmm.
most of us who migrate, go for a better future. Let's. You see, money is very important part in this world to survive. You have to be comfortable. You need all your things. So. I have seen people go back to India from here because of money. यहाँ पर उनको न्यूजीलैंड में कम मिल रहा है और इंडिया में तो अब इतना corporate world हो गया है, they have chosen careers there and they've gone back. So they are my niece, she was in Canada and she lived there about for 15 years and she's gone back to India now again because she used to miss India like anything, irrespective of. मैंने उसको वही बोला, मैंने कहा 15 साल तू रह ली है वहाँ पे, how are you going to able to adjust? कहती है, I have my family, my friends, my everything there. I'm more than happy to be there. So yes, people have welcome back India. हिंदुस्तान तो हिंदुस्तान है, इंडिया फिर भी इंडिया है, चाहे जैसा भी है, अपना है. You still feel a second citizen here. I've been here 22 years, but what जो अपनापन जहाँ के इंडिया में मिलता है, I mean, it's some real different. It's a totally different feeling, I would say.
Okay.
So
How
I
about
don't
you,
think
Energy?
I don't think it should stop people to going back or staying back in a particular country. Yes, my reasons were different to come, and I'm glad now. I know my kids won't like to go back. That's for sure. You know, बहुत थोड़ी देर के अब जाते हैं because the majority they have grown up here now. My daughter was just about 8 or 9 now. Now she's 30 plus. So उनका वो जाते हैं घूम फार के आ जाते हैं, but they don't want to live there. Yes, that's for sure. But I don't mind. No, I still like going back. So yeah.
Okay. How about you, Energy?
I would love to come back, but not to work. India is not a place to work
Okay.
or to do business or anything at all. There's too many potholes. There are too many things that you don't see. There's too much interference on every level from different kind of government agencies. We don't see government as a friend in India. It's like when they come, it's like you already feel that they're there to take something from you. So I would like to do business in India, but I would love to go back and just relax, just play golf over there, meet the friends, websites, but no business. And in fact,
Okay.
I would not like to sell diamonds also to my Indian friends or associates or relations because wherever money comes into the picture, I feel that relation gets quite sore. So as long as money is not involved, everybody's great. Uh, I would love to come back to just retire. No business out there.
That's simple. Okay, so my next question is like, can you recall one or two instances which you can say, Dil is still in India, Hindustan.
दिल तो
Or
पूरी तरह
something like
हिंदुस्तानी है.
so please
You're
one or
cutting
two
off,
instances.
Ashish. You're cutting off. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, better now. Hello, hello, I can hear you. Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
I can hear you. If you want, I'll
Okay,
answer
so
first. See,
Yeah.
the
Go
yeah,
ahead.
moment
please.
from Tokyo, all the flights I've taken for the past 40 years, I've had the option of taking JAL or ANA or some other airline. I've always taken Air India. Always, right? I'm
Okay.
one of the longest Air India users because the moment you get into Air India plane, that smell, the whiff of the curry smell, the wait, the air hostess, the captain, everything gets you back to Air India, which is something very nostalgic. You feel like you've come back home. It's like a fish coming back to water. So from the moment you're in Air
Okay.
India, you're back in India. I mean, service might be crappy, it might not do well, there might be leakages, but I never ever say bad about Air India. It is my airline. I can't say bad about it. A lot of people do. I don't say bad. I say it's a great airline. People have heart out there. It's funny you have some comical situation, but still this is our airline. So I have no business to criticize it. I don't criticize it. Maybe in front of you, I might say, "ठीक है, पानी नहीं कर रहा था, toilet नहीं चल रहा था," but never to a foreigner, never to a Japanese. When you do that, when you criticize your own country to a foreigner, you're degrading yourself in front of foreigners. I never do that. So
True.
I always, like I said, I hold India in high esteem. But I don't hold the people running in high esteem. The country, I hold it in high esteem. The whole country, our country is a great country. We have so much culture, so much history. We have so much to offer to the world. We got nincompoops out here who don't know how to market our India. India is a great country. We are, we have come down to a stage, sadly, where we are more believing in destruction instead of construction. We're destroying heritage. We're destroying history. If you want something, you want to destroy something, make something bigger than that. Make something more grander that to show that this modern India can do what the history could not. We are bigger than that. You want to destroy a mosque? Don't do that. Make a mandir that is bigger than that mosque. Make something more. Construct. Don't destruct. It doesn't make sense. We are
Okay.
all a part of it, whether we like it or not. This is what we have grown. This is a part of us. We can't just throw it out and say, no, we don't like it. It's not a part of us anymore. So that's something I feel very sad about. Our India the India we grew up in, the tolerant India, where we used to, everybody in our school, we had all kind of faiths. We had Muslims, we had Parsis, we had everybody, and they were all brothers to us. Even now, they're brothers to us. No, so this wedge that is coming out, this is very bothering to me. I don't like this at all. This is, like we are all Indians, irrespective of our caste, and I always believe that in this has been taught to us in diversity is the unity of the country, and the more the diverse a person, the more we become a melting pot, the more the stronger we become, not weaker. And this is what I solidly believe in. I want my India to become more strong, more tolerant, more loving, more giving, more peaceful.
Okay.
We have this history. We have never invaded anybody. We have never been of any hatred. We have tolerated everybody. That tolerance level is gone, and that's sad.
It's not
Okay.
about that,
Wonderful.
Anil.
Yeah.
What I say that people are loving. People are, it's what the politics is driving them to do all these things. You see,
See,
where uh,
you haven't been to Delhi. You go to Delhi and you're driving a Benz or a BMW. A Bihari will come and look at it like, "Hey, bhai sahab, ye to meri gaadi hai. Meri aayegi, ye mere haath mein aa jayegi kabhi na kabhi." So you're not secure in your own environment. You don't realize that. It's like, we had a teacher called Mr. T.K. Jain. He used to tell us, we're a country, we're a country where there's an island of rich surrounded by a sea of poverty. A typhoon will come and that island of rich will just disappear. He used to tell, I remember that very vividly. He used to tell us that. So I feel completely at home. All this, emotion that's coming out for country, that tells you how much you feel for the country. I mean, Apna Bharat hai, and you feel that it should be doing much better than what it is doing right now. And first of all, I think we should have more love for each other in a country. We should have more tolerance for each other. And Garib or kuch respect for human life is gone. And for a moment, like we being outside, we used to hear about all the rape culture that's happening. India becoming the rape country of the world. Delhi, the rape capital is. It's so sad. And kids so small. What's wrong with us? Where is this coming from? Sex, sex,
Mhm.
sex everywhere. Movies is teaching you that you can do anything with kids. You can do with girls who are so unprotected. It's really sad. We don't have that. At night we have girls. They can walk alone at night without any pretext of any protection. You can go out, come back 11, 12 o'clock. Nothing happens.
yeah, absolutely.
So I feel very sad for the kids growing up in India, especially like Ranbir Bose. He also has kids. So obviously, when they go out at night, you're not very comfortable. You don't sleep to come back home to know that they're back home safely. So this was not so much there before. We were a very safe country. Delhi was very safe that way, and there were always people who were ready to protect the woman. हमारी माँ है, हमारी बहन है. So that thing is not happening now. People they just giving up. They want to get involved. They don't want to protect people. So I don't know what to say, but I hope we improve on all this. Law improves a little bit. We have respect for people's life out there. So
I'm sure.
and
I'm
this is
sure.
this is my
So,
feeling for it. Yeah.
okay, perfect. So, Rajesh ji, the same question. Your one or two Dil is still Hindustani moments.
Yeah, Dil hai Hindustani. I love and live and love India, man. But it's no denying the fact, that my first love is always India. I see, New Zealand is number two. Wherever. Though I've lived here, but I've been born, brought, education, marriage, kids, all in India. Everything has happened there. Yes, I feel sad about the situations what are happening across in India, but yeah, eventually. Homecoming, I don't know whether I'll come back and settle down. No, I don't think so. But yes, I do like to visit around, and as long as I can travel and everything, because traveling from Auckland to India is not very easy. It's about 18 hours, and there's no direct flight. So they have tried it now, with the COVID, and Air New Zealand has flown direct 18 hours. So it becomes a pretty strenuous, but yes, for me, Indian food, Indian culture, Indian movies, Indian music, Indian everything, I am a big fan of all this, what is Indian. Yeah. And या दिल हिंदुस्तानी ही रहेगा, मरूंगा भी हिंदुस्तानी ही, कीवी नहीं मरूंगा.
Okay. Okay. So we are almost at the fag end now. My last question to both of you is like, do you have any, very briefly, any message to any DPS alumni community, to our DPS alumni community, any message that you want to give?
I will just say, bye, guys. Stay connected, man. This is the amazing thing what Rajiv has come out with. Getting connected. Shout out to each other if you need help, or if you can help anybody in any way. Uh, I mean, we are all from the same, okay, like we say, branches of the same tree. So if at all we can be of help to each other in whichever way, morally, financially, or anything, if somebody is in need, just go ahead and do it, man, without the other hand, the left hand knowing the right hand. Just do it.
Okay. Anilji, how about you? Any
Uh,
message?
yeah, we have a group, a DPS 76 group, in which we all members and all. So somebody said something, some remarks were passed, and some woman said, "I'm not a sex object." I mean, at 60, come along, you're not a sex object, anyways. But if somebody calls you, you're sexy, should take it in good humor. Like you're 60 plus, you're 60 plus. You're old time sake. Where you were looking at her like she was in the teenagers and all. So I told these guys, let's not look at the small this thing. Look at the big picture. And I'll repeat what I told that time. I think it's just a repetition. I said, see, all the planets, all the suns, the stars, the moons, the time, Jyotana, they must have been aligned in such a way that it got all of us together. What are the chances of this group getting together out of millions and billions of people in the world? We all got together. There has to be a hand of God in this. So respect that gift from God and stay connected. And don't look at these critical small points. Look at the big picture. What are the chances that you can get rid of the fake world outside who just keep on lying through this thing? कोई तुम्हारे से फायदा ही लेना चाहता है, यहाँ पर किसी का कोई फायदा नहीं है. Only friendship के लिए friendship है. So just take this as a gift from God and just stay bonded. This bond is our asset together, because in the end, your kids will get married, they'll have their old children, they have their own world. We are the only people who will be sane and a bookend and a support for each other in there. So don't throw the support out. That's it.
That's a wonderful message. So, with that, we are almost done. So, I'll now invite others, all the assembled audience.
Bam!
Bole ka bye, bam
Bam
bole.
bole!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so
Thank you.
much. And
Love
You.
you.
keep
You
safe.